South Korea is sending an orchestra to the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. This is part of the agreement the two Koreas reached during their recent talks. The 140 musicians will perform in Seoul. North Korea also agreed last week to send an Olympic delegation that includes officials, athletes, and an art troupe. The gesture is meant to help tone down tensions over expanding nuclear and missile programs. The United States and South Korea are facing mounting tension with North Korea. The front line of this tension is the demilitarized zone, or the DMZ, located between North and South Korea. It stands just a few miles from where the 2018 Winter Olympics are being held. Anchor Janet Roach joins us with one reporter's observations from the most fortified border on the planet.
The border allows Koreans and tourists to get a peek into life on the other side. Recently, reporter Matt Renew from our sister station in Denver paid the border a visit. At Renew's first glance, he sees the museum. Statues and historic military aircraft make the Unification Observation Tower in South Korea look like any other tourist attraction.
These roads right here leads to the Kumgang Mountain.
But then you see the barbed wire.
Would stop you from going into the DMZ.
Armed soldiers and attack helicopters flying overhead, a reminder that this is also a place of high tension.
That's the line that dignifies the MDLs.
And for South Koreans like John Lee, a place that divides their country.
That's the line that divides South Korea and North Korea. So after that little land over there, it's all North Korea.
This is the demilitarized zone, set up in 1953 after fighting ended in the Korean War. It's a mile-wide fenced-in barrier between South Korea and North Korea, the most fortified border in the world.
The orange signs are for the Korean Army. It indicates that it's no-fly zone, and that the DMZ starts over there. So they shouldn't fly near here, or they'll be shot down.
Along the fence are observation towers like this, where South Korea can look at North Korea and North Korea can look back.
So people traveling in North Korea could potentially go up there and observe this area as well, like we are doing right now.
You can see into the DMZ, a place without weapons or development, making it one of the most pristine natural landscapes in all of Asia. But on several mountaintops, there are GPs, or guard posts.
That's the Korean Army guard post.
With armed soldiers on patrol.
See the far mountain over there? That's North Korean Kumgang Mountain. And on top of that, you see another GP, that's North Korean GP.
There are loudspeakers lining the fence that at times blast propaganda to the north and back.
They have large speakers over there that are propaganda speakers against North Korea, made by South Korea. So it's intended to kind of sway the North Korean soldiers to come over, cross the border and come to South Korea where it's a better living.
And while this 150-mile-long border splits Korea into two, there are also messages of unification.
That Korean people also could go
with residents like John hoping one day that this border dividing their nation will be just another piece of Korean history.
Yeah, that's just about it.
And reporter Matt Renew tells us within the DMZ, there's also one village with about 250 people living there, and it's protected by the United Nations. Janet Roach, 13 News Now.